if you have a gift, if you have a mission, if you have something that can change people's lives, you owe it to them and to the universe to deliver it.
Welcome to Game Changer, where you get the inside track to win in a decade of disruption. So go ahead and subscribe, and let's crush this business unusual game together. Our guest today, Jackie Lapin, is a pioneer and innovator, a nationally recognized media relations expert, best-selling award-winning author, expert speaker, and founder of SpeakerTunity, SpeakerTunity Cities, and Conscious Media Relations. She provides thousands of speakers opportunities to help them get booked and get their message to the world in the way they deserve. Welcome, Jackie. So awesome to have you on the show.
Carmen, it is delightful to be here. Thank you so very much, amongst so many illustrious people who are disruptors.
Absolutely. It's a disruptive decade, so best we get in right there and be disruptive ourselves. Jackie, so talking about disrupting an industry, you were one of the first women sports writers in America. And that led to you creating one of the largest and most successful sports, special events, cable TV, PR agencies, and you had a world-class client list. So tell us, Jackie, and then you've gone on to create a number of successes over the last few decades. What's your secret to manifesting consistent success?
Well, I can call myself a serial pioneer. Mm-hmm. And that's because I follow what the universe's breadcrumbs, as I call it. I listen for where there's a void in the market. I listen to what my guidance is telling me there's a need. And so I then go and try to figure out a way to fill that need using the skills and the gifts that I was given. So obviously in the early days, it was, obviously when I came out of the sports, as a sports writer, I had all these PR skills and I love sports and I knew the business. And so that's where I headed and started to build that. And then it came a time when it wasn't fulfilling me much anymore. And I was called to write 2 books in personal growth, The Art of Conscious Creation, How You Can Transform the World, and A Practical Conscious Creation, Daily Techniques to Manifest Your Desires. And that book was the best spiritual book of the year at the International New Age Trade Show. But when I got done with that, I realized that my heart lay with the people that were making the world a better place. This was my tribe. These were the people that I wanted to service. And that was the next calling that I had. And so I rebranded the company Conscious Media Relations, and we started doing radio podcast tours, which we still do. We've been doing them for a dozen years, and we do them for people like Don Miguel Ruiz and Ariel Ford and James Twyman and Joe Vitale and Chris and Janet Atwood and Maureen St. Germain, and lots of people who aren't, nearly as famous as they are. And so, this was an innovative breakthrough. Nobody was doing it. We offer authors to 9,000 radio shows and podcasts at the same time with a minimum guarantee of 30 interviews. And we specialized in people who were either helping change one's life, one's business, to the planet. Nobody was doing that just like that. There are PR people that are individually pitching, but I'm a data nut. So I started building specialty databases of radio and podcast show hosts that specifically love this kind of content. So we built that list and continue to grow it. So again, my head likes to put things in categories. And so that became a natural outgrowth of that. And so some of these people kept saying, well, can you book me for speaking gigs? Can you book me for speaking gigs? Now I'm listening to what the universe is telling me. And I finally say, okay, there's a message here. What can I do? I don't want to book them for speaking gigs, but I know where all these are. Why don't I just tell them? And being the data nut that I am, we started really pulling these together. And that's how we created SpeakerTunity, the speaker and leader resource company. We give leaders contacts where they can book themselves in their category or specialty of choice, or locally in their own market, or just in the transformational marketplace, or in podcasts, whatever it might be. We have assembled it so we make it easy for them to actually reach out to the right candidates, and they don't have to do the research themselves. It became such a no-brainer for me that say, well, why don't we just do the research for people, and who's going to turn that down? And so that's basically how we basically created SpeakerTunity. And that's kind of the way that my brain works. Okay, what's needed here? What are the opportunities? How can I marry the two? And how can I get the useful information for people so that I can make their lives easier? My goal is to get people on more stages faster, wherever they are, and do it with greater ease and less cost. So, that to me is a beautiful mission that I've been gifted, and that's what I spend my time doing.
What you've described is you are so aligned with your success codes and what you can bring to the world and what you're passionate about and what you've done, which you've actually said so beautifully. You marry what you can bring to the world with the problems that you listen out for those problems, and then bring your gifts and your talents and your experience and the way your brain works. You package that all together and you put it out into the world in a way that the world wants it and needs it. And what a beautiful skill to bring all of you together, listen, and give the market what they need. That's an amazing gift that you've utilized so beautifully. So I want to unpack a lot of what you've said, and we'll get there in a moment around SpeakerTunity. I want you to give us a little bit around your books. Your books have there's richness, there's a spiritual angle to them. And you wrote, like you said, 2 international best-selling books. Can you share a practical insight with our audience? Maybe pull something from one of those books that's near to you or pops to mind right now. That would be, how do you manifest your desires in a practical way that you can share?
Well, I think the most important element of that is to reach for a higher thought rather than the negative thoughts that are all plaguing us. And I think that's the underlying thought and emotion, I should say. That's the underlying element of all of this. But in the books were two different kinds of books. And keep in mind, they came out just right after the Secret, right around the time the Secret did. And the universe was giving a lot of us the same messages. The first book is really about why you really have more control over your life than you think you do. And how you can not only influence yourself, but you can influence the planet in very specific ways. 25 guiding universal principles that, if you really pay attention and implement them, will put you on the path to really getting where you want to go, and living a life that is much more where you're less reactive and more productive as to what you want to have happen. And I think that it also gives you an amazing guided visualizations of a healed world, 25 different guided visualizations of the healed world. So I think that's what that book was really all about. But the second book is really much more about how you go about your daily life, doing things, thinking certain ways that make you a better, faster manifester. Like when things are falling down around your head, you're thinking, you switch that thought to, hey, all is well, really all is well. And the universe has my back. There's another one. God has my back. You don't have to do it all yourself. There's a whole series of wonderful concepts that you can cling to, adapt, bring into your life that makes it really much more easy to live a positive life rather than endure the harshness of it on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Jackie. Jackie, tell us, why is now never ever been a better time to get booked on podcasts, radio shows, summits?
Well, the first thing is, the world is in such a way, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, that your speaking opportunities to a large extent are really focused more on virtual, but those are expanding like crazy. And that includes, podcasts. There's over 1 million podcasts at this point. People have more time to sit at home and listen to these things because they're less likely to be working in an office these days. And, so many events and meetings, regular meetings, have just gone to a virtual opportunity. So now, instead of being limited to your regional area, you can speak anywhere. And that really has added such a major dimension to what a speaker can do. And when I talk about a speaker, I'm not talking about a professional speaker who gets paid to show up on stage. I'm talking to any leader that needs to get in front of an audience to grow their business. If you are using speaking as a way to attract business, or you're not using it and you should be, then, speaking is really the single most effective way to get people into your community and into your client list and on your roster. So you need to be in front of audiences where those people are. And so a way to do that is to really focus on the kinds of speaking opportunities where your ideal client is. And they're just proliferating everywhere.
And you're right there helping guide people to find it. So you started this amazing resource called SpeakerTunity. When you started it, what was that you spoke so beautifully earlier about the listening out? What was the biggest need you wanted to fulfill with SpeakerTunity?
Well, in the beginning, my community originally with the radio podcast tours tended to be more transformational leaders, people who were changing people's lives through some aspect of what they were teaching or what their books were all about. And so initially my thought was, well, that's our community and nobody has really gathered up the speaking opportunities for them. And so that's when we started with SpeakerTunity Speaker Leads. And that's the initial product that continues. It's one of our 3 legacy products. And it was really geared to them. But then people kept saying to me, well, can you book me? But these leads are great, but I'm more in the business side, or I want more local. And so that led to some of our other products, SpeakerTunity Cities. And I can show you a little bit more about this in a minute, but SpeakerTunity Cities are regional speaker lead directories would give people up to 2,000 speaker leads just in their hometown. But there tend to be, we have 55 business categories. So, business, ethnic, industries. So if you're looking for business, that's great, but it also is great for the transformational leader. And then we figured, all right, so some people don't want all the leads in their market, and now you can speak anywhere. Well, why don't we give them just the leads in their niche all across North America? And that's how SpeakerTunity Speaker Specialties was born. So essentially, we follow the need and the requests. If people say, I want more of this, or I need more of that, or I'm really interested in this area, well, can we figure out a way to deliver that to them so it gets them directly what they want? So, and that's how our programs have basically grown and expanded, and why we have such a wide variety of resources, because one size doesn't fit all.
Yes.
And everybody really has a specific niche or audience that they're going after. And we wanted to see how we could really help them. And depending on what level you're at, if you're, you're already an experienced speaker, you just need more leads. Well, we'll give you that opportunity. If you are somebody that's a beginner and you don't know how to do that, well, we'll give you training programs on how to book yourself. And by the way, hey, now we've got an alliance that if you don't want to do all the booking yourself, you can retain them to do it for you. So, we keep saying, okay, what's the next problem we need to solve?
Yeah.
And that's been that. And I'm really excited about our alliance with Book for You virtual assistants, because now when people get a directory from us, well, one of the objectives to buying one of our directories was, well, I don't have time to do this. Well, we've eliminated that problem now. You don't have to. Somebody else can do it for you. Get our directory, turn it over to them, and they'll go hunt down all the right opportunities for you.
So if you were to summarize what the game changer difference is, what would you say that is?
The game changer difference for us is that leaders are getting on stages faster and easier with less expense because they don't have to do the research, which is one of the reasons why they don't do it at all. Many people don't tackle this simply because I don't know where to start. I don't have the time. I wouldn't begin to have the, wherewithal to figure out where to find these opportunities. Well, we've done it. You don't have to. We've figured out a way. And all you need to do is get these directories and start reaching out to these hosts, or have somebody on your team do it, or get Book for You virtual assistants. At SpeakerTunity, we'll give you the choice, and then you can just hone in on what you want. Now, we've got a lot of options, and that can be a little overwhelming for people. And so that's why we're happy one of our team can sit with you and say, okay, what do you need? Do you need a speaker one sheet? Do you need training? Do you just want this directory? Do you just want your, directory in South Florida? What is it that you need? And let's get you there so you can get on those stages. So, and if you want, Carmen,
go ahead.
I can show you a little bit about what we're doing. So let me share my screen. Okay, come on. There we go. So this is SpeakerTunity's resources. So you just go to SpeakerTunity.com is that where you'll find them. And this is the easy, what you'll see on a page. So on the left side is one of the ones I was speaking. This is our legacy program, SpeakerTunity Speaker Leads, 120 leads all over North America in the transformational space. And then we have two podcast radio show options, one for life-changing radio shows, one for B2B radio shows, where we give you 40 different shows every month that you can keep pitching yourself to. You want virtual summits? Well, we've got that covered. So many people want to get on virtual summits to attract clients, grow their business, grow their opt-ins. Well, we've identified many of them, that are looking for guest presenters. And then if you need to beef up your list so you qualify for any of the ones that have a minimum list size, we'll also give you collaborative product giveaways that are looking for partners so you can promote there and grow your list. Virtual networking has become a very good area where you can actually get and go and prospect for new clients. We've identified 200 that are low cost, no cost, and that are welcome folks to come in, and are 50 of which are just for women alone. So here's what the exciting stuff that I was talking about. SpeakerTunity Cities are our regional speaker lead directories. We have 75 different markets in the US and Canada. I'm sorry, the rest of the world, we're not there yet, but those markets are covered, and we give you leads in business, in your service groups and philanthropic. We'll give you all the places you touch the consumer directly: moms groups, parenting, seniors, health and wellness support groups, military, LGBT, other special interest groups, bookstores, libraries, and hospitals, and then spiritual, such as Unity, Centers for Spiritual Living, and faith-based groups. So all that comes in one regional directory. In SpeakerTunity speaker specialties, that's where we delve down just into your niche. And you can just pick the niches all across North America that are right for you, or just in a segment of North America. And it makes it really easy just to be talking on those kinds of meetings. Then if you've got a hankering to get on a TEDx, we've identified 350 of them. And here's what's really nice. Normally you would go to the website and hunt around and be lost. So we've identified and put them all in a spreadsheet, and identified them by date, by state and province, or what's virtual and live. Easy duty. You can say, okay, there are 6 around my state, or, in the neighboring states. These are the ones that I'm interested in reaching out to. If you've never booked yourself, we've got some tools for you. One of which is, hey, we'll do your speaker one sheet or your podcast introductory sheet. You pick from colors, you pick the template, and then fill in the form, and we'll give you back a great looking speaker one sheet so that you can press people. And we've got some other exciting design things coming, and also a digital eBiz card. So you can stand on any stage and say, hey, open up this page on your phone or on your digital device, and there are live links there. They can be buying your books, opting into your e-courses, setting up meetings with you just from the stage at the time. Now, here's what if you never booked yourself. There's a course on how to book yourself for speaking, a course on how to book yourself for radio and podcasts, and a course on how to get booked in the corporate marketplace. A lot of people are really excited about that one because that's where you can make a ton of revenue over a long period of time and really sustain it. And then if you haven't booked yourself and you don't want to sit through the course, you can simply get the success booking system. It's a little video and samples and checklists and all kinds of different resources so that you can just jump in and start booking yourself. And then here's what we were talking about, Book For You virtual assistants. So you can jump in here and take advantage of that. And then on the right side, that's an easy way to get to the radio podcast tours. So that's basically what we're up to. We make it really simple for people just to pop in, click, and open the things that are right for them, and then get started.
Sounds fantastic, Jackie, and so much work and research and time that has been put into this to literally accelerate the process for your clients. An incredible rich resource.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, we're excited, and we continue to add new products. There's a couple more coming in the suite, but man, we think that there's only a couple of holes that we need to fill, but we've got, as we call ourselves, the ultimate speaker toolbox. Yeah. And I think we have it all here. So I'm excited because, as you say, there's nothing like it anywhere in the industry. And it really applies to anybody. It applies to coaches, personal growth leaders, any kind of speaker leader that needs to grow an audience, authors, entrepreneurs. It runs the whole gamut of people that are marketing in front of audiences.
Yeah, and even though your services are North America and Canada, the great thing that we're in such a digital space at the moment. If anyone in the rest of the world wants to be exposed in those areas, here's a resource for them to be able to do that. So it doesn't mean that it's only for people living in those areas.
No, and especially our radio and our podcast radio and summits. People really love that because, they can do that from anywhere.
Exactly.
And it's borderless. And increasingly, the other kinds of opportunities are as well, the live and virtual stages. And especially since we do have a resurgence of what's going on here, a lot of the live stages are pulling back again. So for the foreseeable future, virtual is going to be the hot ticket.
Yeah. It is. It sure is. So best we get used to this little stage in front of us. Jackie, I asked you to prepare a whiz bomb for us. It's a powerful success insight that would be of value to our audience. Do you want to go ahead and drop your whiz bomb?
Well, I think the most important thing is don't hide your light under a bushel, because if you have a gift, if you have a mission, if you have something that can change people's lives, you owe it to them and to the universe to deliver it. If you are resistant because you're afraid of being on stages, let me gift you this concept. It's not about you. If you're standing on a stage thinking, what do they think of me? Do I look okay? Are they judging how I speak? It's not about you. All that audience cares about is, do you have information that's going to change their lives? Mm-hmm. And if you step on any stage, live or virtual, from the premise of, I'm here to serve, they need what I have, I'm in service to making these people have a better life. If you're standing on stage from that end to aspect, those butterflies should go away. So remember, you're in service, and to be there for them and stop thinking about what they're thinking about you. All you need to remember is they need you.
Such a powerful insight. And whilst you were speaking these poignant points, there was some light coming through behind you. Was it lightning or what is it? Is there a storm?
I can't tell you.
It was amazing. So you had some lighting effects as you were dropping your whiz bomb.
We'll take that. We'll take that. The universe is always on my side.
If we look into the future, Jackie, what would you say would be, from your viewpoint, one of the scariest and then one of the most exciting disruptions that's on the horizon?
Well, I think that the scariest is simply, I don't think we really are aware of the impact of climate change yet. I think it's still going to be so dramatic that there may be implications for all of us in every aspect of our lives. You can just look at, I find I'm working with my team in the Philippines. Everything's fine. And they've got another massive typhoon and they're down and unable to work. In all my contracts now with people, I'm putting in force majeure because you have no idea what's coming. Could we be idled because of earthquakes? Could be, I came within a hair's breadth of losing my house in the Woolsey fire. And I live in what's considered as a very suburban area. If it weren't for my two neighbors standing on the hill with hoses. And, so I think our lives, the uncertainty of our lives and our business lives may very well be impacted by climate change. I think that's the scary part. Now, the opportunities, I think that we're able to reach more people, more ways. This digital way of connecting with people is becoming more acceptable, more universal. It gives us an opportunity to build communities in ways that we've never built communities before. I love the fact that you are halfway around the world and we are speaking and we're doing work together. I love the fact that I can have a team in the Philippines doing all of my research. And I can check in with them every Saturday morning at 8:00. The digital opportunities keep growing. The way to find information expands. And so that to me is what's exciting.
Fantastic time to be alive, isn't it?
Yes.
You're talking about community. What's the vision that you have for your Changemakers collaboration circle?
So that's my Facebook group.
Yeah.
And what we wanted to do was to create a community where leaders, experts in just about any field can come over and connect with other leaders. And here's the key. You get to promote everything in your funnel. So we have 35 different threads every week. So if you specialize in women's programs or financial programs or pets or your intuitive skills or whatever your gifts might be, there is a thread for you. But there's also threads for promoting your book and promoting your videos and starting an e-course. You get to put all of those in to tell the world, our community, there's about 2,000 of us at this point, we're growing into, that what you do, and align yourself with other people that are doing the same thing. So we created it as a means to bring our tribe together so that they can cross promote and support each other and find partners.
Lovely. So if you were to give our entrepreneurs, our audience, some insights from your perspective as to what right now to win in this decade of disruption, what do you think is crucial to start and to stop right now?
Well, I think what's crucial to start is to be visible. If you're not really using this opportunity to be visible, you're missing the mark. I mean, there's never been a better time or way to make yourself visible, and your products and your resources and your coaching skills and whatever it might be. The blessing of speaking is that you don't go out to give a blatant commercial. You basically tell people, here's some great information, give them value, make them see how much you know, make them feel how much you care. And then once you've done that, then you give them an offer of how they can continue to work with you. I know that whole concept of sales scares the heck out of people, but it's not sales. It's an invitation. It's an opportunity to go to the next level that you can help somebody. And so you need to open yourself to the opportunity that this is where your next opportunities are. And if you're uncomfortable with certain aspects of this, there are fabulous mentors out there in so many different fields, speaker trainers and coaches, people who will help you make that offer without feeling salesy, how to improve your look, your style. I mean, every aspect of being visible, there's coaches out there. So, and most of them are really looking for people that are coachable, that are eager to do better, grow more, make more revenue. So you need to basically take advantage of the opportunities that are out there, whether you're doing it on your own or with a coach, and build yourself your tribe. And so that's what this time is all about. A wider opportunity to build your tribe faster, and grow your business, and visibility is what's going to basically do that for you. So I think that's really what the message that that I would impart to people. Give people value, and they will come.
Great, thank you. And what do you think we need to stop doing?
Well, for me, it's being resistant to change. And I know a lot of other people are that. I mean, it's really hard to let go of things that you know and that you've done, with the technology that's just whizzing past us, with new trends, et cetera. Don't sit around and bemoan the past. You've really just got to figure out, okay, where is my place in this future? Don't sit around and say, okay, we all saw it 18 months ago. All of a sudden your revenue or your income is gone. Don't spend your time bemoaning what it was. Figure out what's next.
Well said, absolutely. Jackie, you've had experiences in so many different ways, and you've jumped at all the opportunities and you've grabbed them so well. You definitely don't have that issue around not jumping at the change. If you look back, what would you say is one of your most cherished successes?
I think, to be honest, it's the people that have worked with me through the years and the growth that I've been able to inspire in them, and the support that I've been able to give them so that they can really become the people that they are. That to me is very exciting. And, I could talk about business successes, having a $2 million public relations agency, and that when those were big numbers. I can talk about creating innovative businesses. I can talk about a phenomenal experience as being one of the first women sports writers in the world and being on, national television and all of those kinds of things. But for me, it's the people. It's really the people whose lives I've touched and knowing that I have made a difference. That's what I treasure.
And that's what makes you so beautiful, that you chose out of all those things you could pick on and single out, that it wasn't even about you, it was about the people you touch. That's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Jackie, what's the change you would absolutely love to see in the world that you believe would just make such a game changer difference for humanity?
If we all lived from our hearts, and the divide between us was, if people honored the fact that we are one, instead of demonizing others who do not believe the way they do. The acceptance, not just a tolerance, the embrace of other people, other people's beliefs, other people's cultures, and the respect that we should be giving to each other, the compassion, the courtesy, the civility that I think that is somehow fled from our world.
Thank you for sharing all this, for tapping in and listening and sharing all your gifts and talents in so many amazing forms and resources that has made it easier for us speakers. And like you said, it's not just for speakers, it's for any leaders, it's for any entrepreneur to grab hold of these resources to make business easier. And thank you for sharing these insights with us today, Jackie, and wishing you just so much love as you move forward and bring more and more and more resources to the world.
Thank you, Carmen. I so appreciate the opportunity to spend this beautiful time with you, and I am grateful for the opportunity to be part of the Game Changers community.
Thank you, and so awesome to have you on board in the Game Changer family and talking about the Game Changer family. Thank you for being here. Please, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because there's more of these kinds of amazing insights every single week. So until next time, wishing you the wildest success and oceans of love. Thank you.